Welcome back, guys. So for day 3, I wanted to talk about building that strong foundation. So there's a difference between being prepared for things versus anticipation of the negative. So I just mean that to say a lot of times we'll continue to react to things in the same way and wonder why things aren't changing. But if you're still anticipating things to turn out in a negative way for you, that's really the issue that you need to correct. Um, just being able to self-soothe yourself is another thing to kind of piggyback off of that. So instead of anticipating negative things or automatically going to beat yourself up and saying like I'm not good enough, like even in judging your emotions, like having the same reactions and then beating yourself up for feeling bad, you're allowed to have whatever emotions you want to feel, and it still doesn't determine the way things work out for you. Because there's been times where I felt really bad, still felt insecure about myself, and still managed to manifest things that I desired. And that's when I really had to recognize that it didn't matter how I feel. At the end of the day, it mattered who I identified with in general. So just being compassionate for yourself, supporting yourself like you would a friend or somebody else that you were giving advice to. How would you support them and encourage them to keep an open mind or just to be positive about the outcome of the situation? So yeah, that kind of ties into the next thing, which is really just increasing your confidence by empowering yourself. So you could use affirmations every day. Like, don't just do it to have a temporary fix. Let it become part of your identity to talk to yourself in a certain way, and just continue to flood your mind and your body and just your spirit with positive messages instead of negative ones, and you'll definitely see a change in how you feel and how you go about life once you've practiced that as a habit for long enough. Like, it's not that it takes time, but you want to just build that consistency and feel like it's natural and comfortable for you. So don't worry so much about the time. Just set up a daily habit, like when you wake up in the morning, while you're driving, before you go to bed, to fill yourself with positive things. Or you could listen to the sleep affirmations that you could play while you're sleeping, or just while you're doing whatever activities. So all of that is really just to say, cultivate a positive attitude about yourself and your view of your life in general, and just being able to create, like I said before, your own standard for your self-esteem. And if you make sure that it's not based off anything outside of you, then that's one key to make sure that it's going to be something stable that you can keep up with, and you'll never have to waver. Because if it's not relevant to anyone else, then you really have no comparison, no need to ever feel like you've lost it. Just continue to have self-awareness to know what's bothering you and be able to reflect on it and work on it if you feel necessary. Also, just having self-appreciation for your perceived flaws, because those very same flaws were handpicked by you to allow you to discover who you were and then decide who you want to choose to be now. So you don't have to maintain those flaws and feel like you're locked into that, because a lot of people would do that as a way to kind of escape responsibility. Like, an example could be how people would be so heavily into horoscopes, and then they'll just be like, well, I'm just a Virgo, so that's how I'm supposed to be. Or I'm just a Cancer, so I'm already sensitive and this is just who I am. Like, you get to decide who you are. Don't let some label that society created define you. If you really want to change, then you would just be like, okay, you know what, I'm not going to identify with that anymore. Or even if I do, I'm going to take those attributes and flip them into something that helped me discover more of who I wanted to be. Sorry if I'm moving around, my arm is getting kind of tired, but I need to get like some type of stand or something. But yeah, let your choice for having high self-esteem just be an unconditional decision, is the point that I'm trying to make. Just eliminate the need for criticism as a form of motivation for yourself, because you don't need to be negative toward yourself in order to decide that oh, you want to be a positive person. A lot of us will get into that habit of being a fixer, meaning we'll always look for problems even when there aren't any, just to feel like we're fixing something, when you could just decide to let it go and be like, you know what, I'm going to rest comfortably and calmly in my self-esteem. I know this is who I am. I know I don't even have to fight old thoughts or sit there and overanalyze everything. It's just I can continue to say, I have high self-esteem. So as someone with high self-esteem, how would I react to this? Or what would I do in this situation? Kind of talk yourself through it so you could analyze how effortless it is to really step into that characteristic of having high self-esteem. So it's literally just a decision to be someone with high self-esteem. Look for examples of people that you could admire and just kind of use your imagination at first, but with enough practice it becomes natural, and then you won't even have to try. It'll just be automatic, because in choosing self-esteem instead of having a lack of self-esteem, you'll start to automatically start having those positive thoughts, those decision making skills that benefit you instead of harm you. So just to wrap up, it's just a matter of regaining that confidence and trust, that sense of knowing. The same way you had the knowing that you don't have self-esteem and you allowed yourself to give yourself evidence of that, now you're flipping it to see evidence of the fact that you do have self-esteem in order to overcome or transmute whatever circumstances you're in. It's not, I'm trying to see what I said. Oh yeah, basically I wanted to end it with, you become what you believe about yourself. So the key to all of this is changing what you believe about yourself, and you don't need evidence. You don't need to see anything outside of you in order to know that. You just create that knowing in your mind as a mindset, as a decision on who you want to be going forward and how you want to relate to life. And all of that revolves around what you believe is possible for you. So thank you guys for watching day 3. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow in the wrap-up video of our Building Self-Esteem series. Later.